except for like the ladies' man.
What is?
You know, he actually talks about, I was just reading that about him. He talks about how he didn't have a character like everyone else did, like Dana Carvey with Church Lady, or, you know, he never had a character. But he did have that other skit, though. There was, what was it? Like, he was like the zookeeper or something.
Oh, no, that was, we were talking about Tracy Morgan.
Oh, that's right. It was Tracy Morgan. I'm sorry.
Another person we didn't really mention.
Yeah, we didn't mention Tracy Morgan, but that's the thing.
Astronaut Jones, he did. Do you remember that? Where he'd be like doing that, like almost like borderline porno video. It'd be like 2 minutes long. I don't know if you remember seeing that. It was just like something in space, and he would pretty much tell like whoever the girl was to like drop her panties. I don't know if you remember that. That was a random skit. That was funny.
Yeah, I'd say that was a random skit.
Out of the new ones, I think she just kind of started, but she has a lot of promise. I don't know her name, but she does the boxer's girlfriend. Like every boxing movie, the girlfriend or wife from a boxing movie.
Oh.
And that's pretty funny. She's been in a lot of movies too. I don't know what her name is, but I think she has a potential to be really good.
Yeah, I hope so, because they've been really lacking over the past 10 years.
It's just hit or miss. It's just you never know. There could be something amazing one week and then just crap. It's like
it seems to me like I think it's as much the writing as anything, and it seems like now they're almost like trying to make a point with every skit instead of just like being randomly funny. You know what I mean? Like they used to have stuff off the wall, didn't make sense, and it'd be
they get real political.
Yeah, and I think that
real
political. What you believe in, that could be like half of the audience.
Right. You're
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to do a president and things like that. That makes sense, but I never really liked.
What
Trump he does. I think it's just not that funny.
I've never seen.
I like Alec Baldwin, but I don't like the.
I've never.
Hammond was a much better Trump than Baldwin
Hammond has it down perfectly.
There's actually that one. So there's that 2012 Republican national debate with all the people who didn't declare yet, and they have like Sudeikis as Mitt Romney, Tina Fey as Palin, Kristen Wiig as Michelle Bachmann, and then Hammond as Trump.
Oh, okay.
Hammond nails it.
Yeah, I've seen him do them before. He does it really good.
But you're right, Mark. They got way like before they would make fun of the president or something like that. It would be just an impression of that. But now it's like a declaration, like we hate you, we hate everything about you. They're very like almost the whole show is like anti-Trump, and like you're right. It's just gonna piss off half the audience. So
and I mean, again, it's like kind of like the same message over and over. It's like usually you want skits to be something different, like each time,
Right. But then again, that's kind of how the country is too. So
yeah, give me something like David S. Pumpkins. I want more of that. There's another one that was.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you never saw David Pumpkins?
I've heard it's so good. I never saw David S. Pumpkins.
That was a random skit with Tom Hanks on Halloween.
Yeah, it is a random one.
It's definitely random, but it's just like so ridiculous. And it was like I remember seeing that, like, all right, that's the kind of stuff that we missed that you would see back in the late 80s into the 90s and stuff. But
kind of speaking of this, and she nailed it when Melissa McCarthy did Sean Spicer.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
She did. Well, and that was back when they still like felt comfortable doing the normal political stuff,
right?
Like that they would do in the past. And like you guys pointed out, the tide has really shifted over the past years. So, and it's really because you should be able to sit there. Mark, you made a really good point about the George Bush bit. You should be able to sit there and watch the political skits, and it doesn't matter what your party alignment is, you laugh at it.
Yeah.
That is they would like the Joe Biden bit. I always loved it when they would impersonate when Sudeikis would do Joe Biden because it was just so obnoxious and just spot on.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like a good impersonation. Like the Alec Baldwin Trump one seems just like a lazy impersonation to me, but like the Clinton one was good. The Bushes, no one really got Obama very well. They had like a bunch of people playing.
They didn't. They really didn't.
They never, because what was it? They had Fred Armisen, and then they had Jay
Farrow. Jay Farrow, yeah.
and neither one. Obama was just a really hard one because he was just so articulate. I think Armisen kind of got the spirit of it.
Yeah, and Jay
he might have
Farrow
the best,
just didn't
tone.
do a good job with it. But I mean, Jay Farrow did an amazing Will Smith impersonation, and
he had some pretty good impersonation. Eddie Murphy was like spot on.
He did some really awesome. He did one skit. It was I think when Bill Cosby was on trial or something like that. He just did a number of impersonations at once, and it was amazing. Like, he nailed it. So I mean, he had the potential. He could do really good things, but he just did not do a very good Obama.
Yeah, that was the one.
Didn't Keenan usually do the Cosby one? Because I remember actually doing Cosby on Celebrity twice.
He was on Celebrity. Yeah, he did a really good Cosby, and he had those great Cosby sweaters on. It was always fun.
There was
the Rama Jamma.
There was one
and I do want to apologize, by the way, for mixing up Tim Meadows and Tracy Morgan. It's not what people think. Like, I was just I was trying to think of something. So I don't want people to think that, So I just want to apologize to all the listeners out there.
There was one, I don't know if you saw this. It was one Gal Gadot hosted about a year or so ago, and she's on a blind date with this guy, and it turns out it's OJ, but she doesn't know anything about OJ Simpson. But everybody in the restaurant does, and they just can't believe that. They just can't believe that she would be with dating OJ Simpson on a blind date or whatever.
Who played OJ?
It was I think it was Keenan.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Yeah, it was Keenan. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. So.
Speaking of OJ, that's a guy Tim Meadows used to do randomly when he was on. I remember seeing
a
few skits where, like the one where he was I think a guest analyst on one of the football talk shows, and he was showing the routes they did, and he accidentally spelled "I did it." Was that a good?
Didn't really mention the Weekend Update. Dennis Miller was really good at Weekend Update.
Dennis Miller was phenomenal on Weekend Update.
I think for the longest tenure and the best run, I think he had it. But I love.
Might have been one of the. Yeah, he was one of the best ones. But I mean. Nothing beats the whole the succession from Tina Fey, Jimmy Fallon, Amy Poehler, and Seth Meyers. That was just amazing.
I love Kevin Nealon and Norm Macdonald. I thought was really good on it too.
Yeah, Norm, you got to have that kind of dry personality. Like, I wasn't a big fan of Colin, what's his face?
Colin Quinn. Yeah, he kind of was.
He was horrible.
Rough at it.
Sorry,
not very good.
He was horrible. Honestly, I didn't like Kevin Nealon that much as.
Oh, really?
As in Weekend Update, I thought he wasn't very good. Speaking of Kevin Nealon, what was it, Subliminal Guy or something like that?
Subliminal, yeah.
Mr. Subliminal. That was a good one.
Yeah, well, Kevin Nealon was always just a nice foil, because you think of all those, all those actors in the late 80s, early 90s, and they're all just absurd. You think of Chris Rock, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, David Spade, and you need to have a comedic foil to all of them. You need someone who's going to keep them in line, and that's Kevin Nealon.
That's Kevin Nealon.
All right, so to review, here are our groups.
About an hour later.
Okay, Ashley, you had More Cowbell, Celebrity Jeopardy, Cajun Man, and the Tina Fey as Sarah Palin.
Yes.
Mark had Matt Foley, motivational speaker, Sweaty Balls, What's Up With That, and Chippendales. And I had Dick in a Box, Stefan, Lazy Sunday, and Thanksgiving Miracle. I think, Mark, you might have had the best group here.
I agree. I think Mark takes it here.
Could be. We'll see.
I like all the groupings and keeping it kind of spread out, not all one era and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was
for all of us.
I mean,
we all kind of did that. So, except for we were going to hit the 70s, but I don't think any of us, that was really our era.
No.
No, that was my parents' era, unfortunately.
Yeah, I probably started with the Dana Carveys and mid to late 80s, that kind of time. So
yeah.
I do try to watch a lot of it on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, luckily my parents introduced me to the not ready for primetime players. But at the same time, I didn't really start gravitating toward it until, like you said, the late 80s with Carvey and all of them.
Oh, yeah. I really wish I know they did it for like the first 3 or 4 seasons, would release like full seasons and stuff on DVD.
Yeah.
I would get them. Like I mentioned this to Joey a few times, but probably from like the mid to late 80s up until like I was saying those people left, I would DVR or record every episode. Even though I wasn't at home watching them, I would watch them at one day, like Sunday or Monday or something like that, and fast forward through.
Well,
what I didn't like, but I'd watch almost everything.
VH1, I think, had reruns or something like that.
They did way back in the day.
Yeah.
For a while, it was on like early Netflix. They had every episode on early Netflix.
Nice.
Before it became this. Then I think it went to like YouTube Red or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
And there's certain episodes you can't find, and it's like, and there's certain years you can't find. It's driving me nuts. I'm trying to find these skits like I was telling you about, the Neil Diamond Bigfoot and things like that.
Now there's an app.
Yeah, there's an SNL. There's an SNL app, but I can tell you there are 15 episodes of Celebrity Jeopardy, and not all 15 are on there, because the one I was thinking of with Keaton, Travolta, and Burt Reynolds, I couldn't find on the app because I was trying to remember like Matthew Perry's mannerisms as Keaton.
Yeah, he did him pretty good. I remember that one. Yeah, there's an app, and it has a lot of the skits, but none of them have like every skit from every episode and things like that.
Yeah,
right. They have the main ones.
Deleted, but
I'm going to find a lot of these because I'm going to watch them right now because I'm really excited. So.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, guys. This was we could do this for another 3 hours, but
we should just turn this into like a weekly segment.
Seriously. There's so many things we could do. Best actors. We could do,
best hosts.
Best hosts.
Oh, best hosts, best actors, best hosts, best weekend update bits.
Yes.
Yeah, like the bits, not just the because
we could narrow it down like with all the. We could think of like the random guests and such. I think, Joey, I mentioned this to you, best impressions.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, there's so much we can do. All right. Ashley, Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff, guys.
All right.
We'll all talk again later.
Yes.
For sure.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good night.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a few days with another episode. Thanks again to Mark Hagelauer and Ashley Wright. Talk to you later. Another episode is in the bag.
But there's really nothing